Hey everybody, how's it going? We got Liz here with me and we got Greg here with me. Now, once upon a time, probably a couple of years ago, Liz, I told you I was going to start a podcast. True or false?
True.
Totally true. And I've dragged something to my feet for a long time on this, but now we're in quarantine time.
Yeah.
So
Nothing
it
else
seems
to
like
do.
nothing else to do. Nothing else to do. So we're going to do a podcast. It's going to be short. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be awesome. We figured that we would start with the best guest in the history of the planet, Mr. Greg Merrill. You feel okay about that, Greg? Is that a lot of pressure?
Wow. Yeah. Way to set expectations.
Now, I'm going to tell a little secret. Greg and Liz and I all work together. And the thing is that we've all had good coworkers and bad coworkers, and there's times that things get awkward around the office, right, Greg?
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes. Now,
Yeah.
Gregory, it's my understanding that there was a time once when something kind of uncomfortable happened to you at the office.
Yeah. This is true. You want me to tell that story?
Yeah, I don't want any names, but I do want some details. I want you to walk me through a time when maybe you made a choice you shouldn't have.
Okay. I know the story you're referring to. It's been much told many times, and much to the detriment of everybody who's heard it before. But here you go. I had an email programmer I needed to talk to, and I walked across the floor, and she was seated in her cubicle, which were really low walls at the time. And because we just expanded and remodeled, so we had open space for collaboration. And I walked straight up to her and I said, "Hey, I got a question to ask you." And she wheeled around in her chair and with this look of horror. And I started talking. I said, "Hey, about this email we sent last week." And she goes, and I said, and I stopped, and she goes, "I just farted." And, a normal person would have said, "I'll come back later." They would have just turned, walked away. "I'll come back later." Would they not? Do you not agree with that?
Listen,
you're in
her cubicle.
Yeah, standing right next to her.
Way around it.
Absolutely.
I think you did
Greg
the right
Merrill,
thing.
on the other hand, no. Did I do that? No. I backed up a foot and walked into the next cubicle to her neighboring cubicle, thinking that was a safe social distancing at that point, and said, "It's okay. I'll just stand here."
You should have just gone like this, Greg.
Okay, Greg, so tell me, how far are you away from her now?
Oh, I'm 4 or 5 feet away, 6 feet, 5 feet, maybe.
Okay, tell me more.
And she sat alone, it should be said, in this whole area, this whole spacious area she had. She had the run to herself. So I, instead of excusing myself, here I am 6 feet away from her now, plenty of safe distance. There's even a little plastic sneeze guard beneath us as I'm standing there. And I proceed with my asking her this question, and all of a sudden, it was like the Ten Commandments when the green haze sort of filtered in and killed all the young newborns. It was the same experience. I mean,
babies.
Yeah, babies were killed. And I immediately knew I had made a terrible mistake, just terrible. So, but did that stop me? No. Oh no, I just stood there, pretended it wasn't happening. She sat there, tried to answer my question, pretending it wasn't happening, until I got some answer out of her, and then I said, great, and ran off. So there you have it.
What's
That's a
the
great
moral
story.
of this story, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the moral of the story is always knock before entering. I don't know what the story is, what the moral is.
It's good to know that Greg has told this story and retold the story and still has learned nothing from it. Do you feel that's accurate?
So true. Yes, so true.
Hey, well, Greg, I appreciate you joining us on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I'm
You-
delighted to be your debut guest, really.
That was a really great guess. Today's podcast was called Greg and the Fart. You can Google that. And Liz, how often are we going to do these things?
Oh man, I'm hoping we could do it at the bare minimum once a week. We have tons of stories. So maybe
Tons
a
of
couple
stories.
times a week. We'll surprise you.
Yeah, we're going to get through with the quarantine. We're going to make this happen.
Yeah.
See where we go. Greg, you feel good about it? Can you come back on the show, Greg?
Sure, I'll come back sometime. I got plenty of stories. Yeah.
All right, everybody. This has been the very first podcast, probably the best because we had Greg, but we've got more. So thank you, Greg.
It's all downhill from here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Liz. And all you fans out there, we're going to see you again soon. Have a good night, everybody.